Hello and welcome back to Teague's Take. We are in the what might be our last week with our fabulous co-host Nick Granado. I think my dad might be coming back from the new mysterious day job in Minnesota. But while we have him, just a reminder, Nick Granado, my co-host, is going to be um, coaching with us at John Paul again, or I guess for the first time this year. He's coached overseas for the Belgian national team and his own city league team called the Mons Knights. So shout out to those guys. As we talked about before, he was a head coach, served as offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, sometimes all at the same time. Man of many hats while he was over there serving our country in the Air Force. So let's go ahead and bring him in without too much of a further ado. Say hello, Nick.
Hello, thanks JT. Appreciate you having me again.
Yeah, so I want to give a quick shout out to Craig Young, too. I don't know if he's on the stream yet, but I've been having some real trouble trying to figure out how to do these Facebook comments since they weren't refreshing for me. He had a very simple idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it myself, but essentially I'm logged in as a second user and just watching the stream. They're on the side. But what I have noticed so far with the Facebook chat is that we are about, the stream on Facebook is about 8 seconds behind real time, even though I've selected ultra low latency. I guess ultra low latency to Facebook is 8 seconds. So just a reminder for anybody that may actually leave a comment, if we don't get to it right away, you're just 8 seconds behind us. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll try to be better. Now, let's go ahead and let's jump into some Hall of Fame game. How we think our Cowboys look going into the season. Now I realize, Dak didn't play. I don't think Jalen Smith played. I can't remember if Van Der Esch got out there or not, but there were some guys, in the 2 deep and the 3 deep and other guys that are fighting for spots that we did get to see. We got to see a little bit how the new defense, the new defensive mentality is, and how we're looking so far on offense. So, what were some of your takeaways that you had from that game?
Yeah, I mean the first thing that comes to my mind is probably something that we talked about a lot last year was they didn't look lost. I mean, there was some mistakes obviously because it was the backups, more backups than normal. A lot of starters didn't play, but they didn't look lost. It looked like the motion didn't really get to them. It looked like they were just beating situations where the offensive player was just better. I mean, I think the Steelers have more offensive starters playing, so it's natural. So just real quick, that was the first thing that came to me was they looked like they were coached, um, and they paid attention a little bit more. Granted it's first game, but they just that stood out to me. They didn't look confused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel that. I thought they were playing a little bit faster. Um, I'm trying to think of the corner that was over there. I was not impressed on whoever was out there supposed to be guarding Claypool. Claypool was just breaking them off the whole time. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think that was Dick. No, because Diggs didn't play.
No.
Oh, it might have been. It might have been the rookie. Which that's fair, I suppose. You're going up against a veteran receiver. Um, but I still would have liked to see a little bit more from him. Because the whole talk around him was that he just had raw talent, and that he was a little bit of a project, and basically he was kind of Mo Claiborne part 2, maybe just not as high of a ceiling as they said Mo Claiborne had, but um, I thought there was a little bit more to be desired coming from that particular corner. And I'm not even sure who was on the other side. I think I saw Kennedy over there, maybe. And
I know the big names I saw that stood out to me was Nashawn Wright, if I'm saying his first name
right.
correctly, and Joseph I saw play.
Hmm.
Their second round pick from Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Um,
So I saw them out there. I didn't count snaps to see when they started, when they ended, but I saw them quite a bit there.
well, I saw Darian Thompson back there at safety again, and I wish I probably should have got the clip from it. I wonder if that's up on NFL.com. But there was one. There was a ball to Claypool that Claypool alligator armed because he thought he was gonna die with
Yes, I
that.
remember the play.
Yeah, with Darian Thompson coming in, and credit to him, he was able to square up. He hit him in the chest. He didn't hit him very hard, but you could tell in that situation, he was there and ready to make the hit. However, I pose to you this: I think that if the ball was where it was supposed to be, or if he had a little bit more time just to hold on to it for a second, Claypool would have absolutely run past him because he looked flat-footed to me, and it looked like that ball when it first left his hands, I was like, oh, this is going over his head. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. I gotta look back at it, but that was the first impression I had.
No, I think you're correct, and I think the only reason I think that play happened so slowly, there was enough time where Darian Thompson didn't have to tackle him, and I think he did it to make it look better. Like, oh no, I was here, guys. I was here, coaches.
Yeah,
I don't want to look complete like I would have whiffed, but I think you're right. I think there would have been some whiffing.
yeah. I think if that ball was where it was supposed to be, there might have been a little bit of different tune to that play. Um, but I thought Micah Parsons looked good. I actually had a tweet. That was the only tweet that I had for the whole game, which means it excited me a little bit on his fumble recovery. And I know, it's just a fumble recovery, but my tweet said, and just like I'm about to say right now, I've said it once, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it. For whatever reason, Micah Parsons is just where the ball is. Whether he's supposed to be there or not, somehow he finds himself just at the right place at the right time, always near the ball, Mr. Opportunistic, balls on the ground, and who else but Micah Parsons picking up that one and recovering for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. I mean, nothing to write home about as far as he just fell on the ball, but I think he was in the right place. I mean, because they showed the replay kind of from an angle on his side rather than the broadcast camera, and he openly, went wide, looking like he was trying to contain, and the ball, just happened to be there. But I think he was ready for whatever was coming
Mm-hmm.
around that corner. So I think he was in the right place. The ball just happened to go his way, like he's like a magnet, like you said.
Yeah, I didn't.
Both, yeah.
That's something that you can't teach. He's just always there. You see him making plays from the middle of the field, getting all the way to the sideline, which is exactly the kind of thing that you expect out of Jalen Smith. I wish we would have gotten to see him too, just because I want to see what that dynamic looks like when you've got Jalen Smith and Micah Parsons on the field at the same time. Because we know Jalen can get from one side of the field to the other side when healthy. And I don't know.
Oh, and when he's up there
Yes,
in the play.
correct. So, I don't know. The Cowboys might have one of the fastest linebacking cores in the league. Who I don't know. I don't follow other linebackers like that, but I do know that in terms of speed, they're up there. They are definitely up there, especially with Michael Parsons running a 4.3, whatever. I mean, he might as well line up and play receiver too, I guess.
Well, they did tease a little bit on kind of what I was excited about on drafting him because the linebacker room is full. As far as Van Der Esch and Smith are there. Um, I saw Parsons line up like in the Mike position, And then on that particular fumble, he was on the edge.
Mhm.
So they did prove they are going to line him up a lot of places, edge rushing in the middle. I think I saw Najee Harris toss left, where, like you said, as always on the film from Penn State, he was there shutting that down, met him at the sideline. I think Najee Harris got like a yard or two max. So there was some good stuff.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that because there was a sense of, and I'm assuming that if I'm doing it at home, that offenses have to be doing it on the field, where you're looking like you got to find 11, right? You got to you don't know where he's going to be at. Is he going to be is he going to be playing right end? Is he going to be playing left end? Is he going to be in the middle of the field? Is he going to be split out somewhere? Like he's going to be all over the place. And if he can start proving that he's dangerous, I mean, yes, we liked what we saw week 1 in the preseason, but if he can channel any part of what Von Miller was his MVP season, at least you knew where Von was. You knew where he was going to be at before the play, and it was just a matter of stopping him. But if Micah Parsons can be that, and he can move all over the place, he's going to cause some real problems schematically for opposing offenses.
Just to stay with the defense, I ask you this. I don't think we talked about it yet. They kept showing shots, and I think I know who I'm talking about. Somebody who's on, I believe, the wording leadership council, Randy Gregory.
I don't like that.
He was out there with the boonie hat. He was out there coaching a little bit. I don't know. They're saying he's taking strides.
I mean,
as far as a leader,
coaching,
I don't know.
What?
I'm just saying, not down in the man, but I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hey, well, look, here's a comment from Craig. So I can see him. Look at that. Craig is telling me what's up. So, hey, Craig, nice to see you. Your innovative idea is already working. Now that I can see the comment on my screen. So, thanks for testing that out for me. Now I can for sure say that it works. So glad to have you on the show today. And we're probably going to carry over that topic that you asked about last week. So hopefully you can stick around if we get to that. But back to this Randy Gregory Leadership Council. Like, okay, first, good for him. Good for him. He hadn't been on the field at all. So I guess it's kind of like, what you coaching? You ain't done it in a hot minute there. Oh, I think we might have lost my co-host here. He looks frozen. Fix one problem and you come up and you come back with another. So suppose it's just on me today, or for now. We'll work through those technical issues. Let's start the call again. Did it work? No, he dropped. That's okay. Well, what that means is we will continue on, and I'll just give some of my thoughts instead. So from what I saw from the defense, I'm much more optimistic than I was going into the season, right? Because that defense was so poor, and they look like they've got a chance. I'm still not thrilled that our safeties are what they are, but maybe a couple guys are hurt, or they're just saving a couple of guys. I'd really like to see the kid from Ohio State. Although he just tore his Achilles, I'd still want to see him get out there and be a playmaker for us. And on the offensive side of the ball, I don't know. It's tough to see. I think Nick and I had talked about this before, where we're not impressed with DiNucci. Oh, here he is. He's back.
Sorry. Having internet issues myself. Random restarts lately. Need to fix that.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. Here we go. And let's get back to the scene. There it is.
Sorry, guys.
So, I was talking about the offense, just kind of on a monologue to fill time. And I mentioned that I think you and I had talked about you were just kind of out on DiNucci. You're like, yeah, dude's a scrub. He's not going to cut it for us.
Yeah, no disrespect to DiNucci because he's obviously a greater athlete than I ever imagined. But he should, maybe there comes a time to pick a different career field. And again, not a knock. Maybe he's a great coach, but I mean, how many games are we going to see the Ben DiNucci project where he doesn't know where to throw, doesn't know who's open, and this was week 1, so it's only going to get harder. More starters will play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, my sample size of DiNucci is all the games that he appeared for the Cowboys last year, and then the 2 national championship games against North Dakota State the previous 2 years, both of which he lost, both of which I believe he threw an interception in the end zone, and that would have been the game-winning touchdown. I think that happened 2 years in a row. So, yikes. Craig is asking who will be our QB this year. If you're talking about the Cowboys, it's Dak Prescott, right? I'm a little confused on the question. Unless you're talking about a different
maybe
team.
second string. We got the second string battle going on.
Yeah, well, who's going to be who? Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush? Who you got?
It should be Garrett Gilbert. The one game he played in last year, he almost beats the Steelers. He looks competent, he doesn't look bad. And that first half wasn't too bad. He didn't even have no starters.
That's true. That is true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They stalled in the red zone, but that's just, I think, the game plan looks like it worked, and then no playmakers were there in the red zone. You kind of got to have some playmaker because he's not, Gilbert's just going to game manage the offense. He still needs a little playmaker there inside the 20, and I think that's where the multiple stalls.
Yeah, for sure. There is one thing that I really did like to see, or that I saw from the offense, and it's like, man, that O-line is finally back, right? We had enough. I don't know if Tyron Smith played, but seeing Lyle Collins out there again, they looked pretty good. And from there, I think they're only going to get better. So, hopefully, if our offensive line is healthy, then that means Dak is healthy, which means he'll be our starting quarterback all year. And hopefully, great things happen from there. And Craig, speaking of the poll, we do have a poll down at the bottom about the NFL new numbers, or the new NFL number rules, if they bother you or not. I actually have a second poll, but I published them both at the same time. So we'll just leave that one open, and I'll come back to the other one and let people vote on that one as it comes in. Because my manager was talking to me about the numbers. So what do you think, Nick? Like, when you saw 11 on defense, did it confuse you? Did it bother you at all?
Like,
Say that again.
I don't like it at all.
Oh.
It didn't confuse me. I just don't like it. And it also doesn't bother me. It's just, if you're gonna ask me, hey, thumbs up, thumbs down, I think thumbs down. That's what was kind of cool when you play college. Shout out to Rob. Me and Robert, we go back. Played a lot of NCAA. That's what was cool back then. All the unique numbers. and then you go to the NFL and it's a little bit more structured. Granted, rules structured, I know, but I don't know. It just kind of takes now that mystique away, the cool numbers. Not everybody can wear any number they want, but it doesn't bother me. It's
Well,
just
there are still some
I don't like it.
restrictions. It's not opened up for
Yeah,
everybody.
I mean, I think the main thing was just like skill players. Like Derrick Henry's he's in a rock 2 again, isn't he?
Probably, I think. Which I mean, that excites me. Like it's I like it.
Okay.
I like guys being able to wear whatever. Well, I guess not everybody, because I'm actually missing the days where like Florida or Florida State would just have some giant studly man on their defensive line wearing like 6, like the Jadeveon Clowney wearing 7.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, like if you're a defensive lineman and you're gonna put on a single digit number, like you got to be cold. It's like wearing the gold shoes at the track meet. And I was kind of disappointed when I looked up some of these new rules, and I was like, oh wait, they didn't just open it up for everybody. The defensive linemen still gotta be 50 to whatever and whatnot. And I guess QBs still can't go over 20. So it's not. I guess it's not complete anarchy. But let's see. Let's.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I was just
Well, speaking of rule changes, there's a couple. I think there's 5. The player numbers for position has changed, and if those, for those that don't actually know what it is, defensive backs, essentially, their number range used to be from 20 to 49, and now that has gone all the way down to 1, so they can wear 1 through 49. Nothing has changed for quarterbacks, punters, and place kickers. They have to be 1 through 19. Running backs, fullbacks, tight ends, H-backs, and wide receivers, they used to be, I want to say 10 through 49, and then 80 to 89, and that's gone down to 1. So now you can wear 1 through 49 and 80 to 89 as any kind of skill position. And the offensive lineman can wear 50 through 79. I don't know why that one's in red. I kind of thought that was always the case. So I'm not sure. And then linebackers can go from 1 to 59 and then 90 to 99.
Yeah.
But
that sounds, as you said that, I thought it was different, but no, never mind. The line, because I think Connor Williams is
he's 50 something. Yeah.
I believe
52 or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I corrected myself when I thought about that.
So another thing that surprised me, the legal forward pass penalty has changed. Apparently that's now a loss of down and 5 yards from the previous spot. The part that's in red is loss of down and. So I always thought it was a loss of down. Is that not true?
I thought it was always a loss of down. I distinctly remember getting flagged in Madden for throwing the ball over and losing it down. So I'm being pretty upset about it.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Let me reframe the context here. So the penalties are for a forward pass beyond the line. It's a loss of down and 5 yards from the spot of the pass. And if you have a second forward pass from behind the line or a forward pass that was thrown after the ball returned behind the line, it's a loss of down and 5 yards. So apparently if you were somehow unfortunate enough to have 2 forward passes, then it's a loss of down. Before that was just a 5 yard penalty. Now you actually lose a down for your second forward pass. So I guess this is the case where.
So does that come into play maybe like for a like a last play of the game on laterals, like if you're already running down the field. I don't know. I'm just trying to think on a scenario where that would happen.
I think there's one specific scenario this is targeting, and this is like wide receiver screen. You've thrown the ball, and that pass went forward, and it was a fake screen, and the receiver throws it. The first pass was legal. The second pass wasn't, so you'll lose the down.
Oh, okay.
And apparently that was not not the rule before.
Interesting.
So Craig says his take on the topic: when he played Pee Wee years, he learned that the numbers meant the position. So he was a left guard with 67, not 54, which is a tight end. Mike Allstott is 54 and always has. I think Mike Allstott was in the 40s. Mike Allstott wore 44, right? Or 40?
When he was at Tampa, it was in the 40s, I believe. I don't recall his number in college.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even sure where he went to college, to be honest with you. Oh, he went to Purdue. I don't know. I'm just trying to find that real quick, and his Wikipedia page is not telling me.
Wikipedia.
That's okay though. But yeah, I mean it is nice. I guess taking some of the guesswork out of that, where you could just look at a number and know what position he played. But I like the college game so much, I guess. I never really not always associated that anyway. But that's fine. Where was I going though? I was going somewhere. Oh, with the rule change. So there's a particular rule change that has an impact that I think disproportionately hurts the defense yet again.
Yes, I was going to say again. Please tell me you left this as a surprise to me.
I did. So let me read what it is, because what they changed was the block below the waist rules. Expands the prohibition of block below the waist. So here's the new rule that's been added, the new provision. Players of either team during a scrimmage down prior to the change of possession, unless the contact occurs in the tight end box, they have the restriction of clipping, peel back blindside blocks, no chop blocks, no crackbacks, and no illegal cut blocks. So on its face, what you think of is basically they say, hey, look, you can't cut anybody. Because remember, it used to be you could cut anybody anywhere. And then it was you can only cut if you're going towards the sideline and like in front of the ball, right? Which I think made the most sense. Now it's basically just like, look, if you're not in the box, you can't cut. Which on its face sounds like, okay, offensive linemen, running backs, whatever, you can't come off the edge. If you got a blitzing linebacker that's coming off the edge, you can't go cut the guy anymore. And you think, all right, win for the pass rusher or win for the blitzer. Mm-hmm. But what I thought about, because I saw a clip of this, because they were talking about this on NFL Network, and they showed a clip, and it was a pulling guard. So he pulls, and he's running out to go block the corner. I played corner, and you're like, all right, what do you do when you have a pulling guard and there's a running back behind him, and you can't get around this guard? You take his legs out. You cut him down so that the guy behind you, because the whole thing you're trying to avoid is you getting pancaked and then the lineman then going on downfield to pick up the safety, and next thing you know, it's a 20-yard, 40-yard, 50-yard touchdown. So what I was always taught to do was just cut him down, take away the blocker. You're not going to make the play, but somebody else will without a blocker in their face. And now the 5'8", 180-pound corner that I was, can't do that. He just has to stand there and run away or get run over by this lineman anyway, because you can't go low on the offensive lineman either because he's out of the tackle box. Which, in the name of player safety, yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's just another weapon you've taken out of the toolbox for us to stop outside runs, is the way I saw it.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you, and yeah, I know all fingers point to player safety, and that's always going to win. But yeah, how does the defense win in that rule? Like you said, they now are handcuffed again. Um, so yeah, that's unfortunate. I'd be terrified for you if I saw a guard coming towards you. I would hope you protect yourself.
Yeah, because, man, I see
Because now
this.
that you can't do what your instinct is, I wonder what you would do in that split-second situation. What do you do?
I'm doing it anyway, or I'm just laying down. Maybe I don't hit him in his thigh
What's the
boards,
penalty?
but I just lay down anyway and just hope he trips over me or something. I don't know. But, I'm thinking like, okay, you got shoot. I mean, you work with Jay Scott and John Paul. And just imagine if he's actually pulling and Trayvon Diggs is sitting out there and he's just hauling ass over at Trayvon Diggs. And then you got like Najee behind him. Like, really, you going like chuck Jonathan Scott and then tackle Najee? Not if you're a corner. They don't pay you to do that.
Yeah.
It's not your job. But anyway,
All in the name of high-scoring offenses, right? What happened to good defensive play? It sucks.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna be looking at that a lot and just seeing like, what are DBs gonna do here? Because you can't go high. You can't hit them under the chin. Like, you're just at such a size disadvantage. I think that was going to be hard to overcome. Another rule change is consultation. The replay officials can now like actually give information to officials on the field that are objective things, like who has possession, whether the ball was completed or if it was intercepted, if somebody touched the ball, those kind of things, so they can. They're trying to get the calls right without always having to review it. You know what I mean? So
that's pretty cool. I mean, it's about freaking time, right? So that means everyone's involved in communication rather than the guys on the field having to hope they get it right.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this works, because it sounds like to me that before you had the replay booth buzz down and say, "Hey, go take a look at this," and then they'd have to stop the game, go look at it, and then have the referee make a decision. But now it seems like they can actually advise the officials and just be like, "Hey, dude was out of bounds," and they can stop the play or whatever, and they can just hear from the replay official, just like, "Hey, you missed this one. It's out of bounds. You don't have to look. I'm telling you, you're wrong here."
And that's only on situations like that, right? Out of bounds, fumbles. Again, the big one, pass interference. There ain't gonna be no ref in the booth being like, "Hey, hold on, that shouldn't have been a flag."
No, it says they can
I was
address.
kind of thinking maybe that helps the defense a little bit.
No, they can
But no.
address game administration issues, including but not limited to. Oh, well, this says penalty enforcement, but I wonder if that means, like putting the ball in the right spot. I don't think the replay official can go back and be like, "Hey, dude was holding on this play. You gotta call that back." But they can change. They can get the proper down right, spot of a foul, the game clock, who has possession, ball, catch or no catch. Did somebody touch a loose ball near the goal line or something? And they can tell you, or they're allowed to tell you, where the location of the football is or a player in relation to some line, goal line, sideline, first down line, or whether they were down by contact.
Interesting.
So the key word on here is objective and obvious. So maybe that helps speed up the game. And that doesn't preclude head coaches or the replay official initiating a challenge, if they're still not sure,
Sure.
So.
Well, that'll be interesting. Keep an eye on that. I mean, that sounds a little vague. We'll see. I'm curious to see how that works. Once it comes full circle and they start doing this more often.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to get this other poll up about the Cowboys and how far they'll go. There we go. So now that's up. Now let's talk about Mac Jones and Cam Newton, and I guess who else is up there? Jarrett Stidham. Who do you think is actually going to end up winning his job?
I didn't know he was still a thing. What was the question again?
Is that who do you think this is? Who do you think is actually going to win the Patriots starting QB?
I mean, in the long, I gotta see week one. That's hard to say. I want to see who plays because I mean, obviously, the answer is in the long run. They would hope Mac Jones. I mean, that's their plan. The question more is like how soon, and I haven't followed the Pats too much as far as how things are looking, but I will go on a limb. I'm a Jones fan. I remember last year before the season started, we kind of chatted about that, and you were like, I think you said, "Oh yeah, second, third round," and I was on board for day one. So I'm hoping he wins it like outright by week one. So that's what if we're gambling on it, I'm rolling the dice with Mac Jones wins outright.
Do you think he? So I do think that he wins the job. But when you're saying outright, you're saying like game one, it's Mac Jones. That's who's going out there.
I want to, but I think if they do, I don't think it's like a mid-season pull. If say it goes the other way where we're going to stick with the veteran, I don't think it's a mid-season project. I think it could just be a week one thing where if they go out there and they struggle a little bit or they do things on offense that because they're different, right? Cam's going to be your classic Auburn style. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do a lot of play action stuff like that. Mac Jones going to lean towards kind of how we saw from Alabama. And if they feel that some of that Cam stuff isn't working, first quarter, second quarter, I think at halftime they just make the move and go with the other way. If they do pick Cam, I don't think it's a thing at all. I think, just my opinion.
Okay, so if you see Cam starts week one, do you think that this is that indicates we'll say redshirt year for Mac Jones?
With a short leash, almost like it's unfortunate for Cam, but if they start struggling and if their vision leans into 6-10 again, I don't think Bill Belichick stays with 6-10. They make the move before so they can try to salvage a season.
Okay.
I don't think they take it.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little torn just because I feel like, I mean, look, I know how Saban operates when you got these quarterback battles, right? He's going to put the guy out there that he thinks is going to win the games to start with. And I don't think he likes to make quarterback changes like that. So I'm just saying, like, in the case that Cam Newton does start week one, I feel like Bill Belichick is more the guy that's like, we thought he was the best, and Like that's what we're rolling with until like he literally shows me that he's not, and he makes the change if Mac Jones is actually outplaying him at some point. I think if it starts going south, like you said, the 6-10 kind of thing, if he still kind of feels like, well, 6-10, or I guess 6-11, my bad.
Oh yeah, gotta still not used to that.
Yeah, I gotta add that extra game in there. Um, I think regardless of record, if he thinks that Cam Newton right now is still more NFL ready, then I think he just rolls with it. And I also kind of feel like if he thinks even mid-season that Mac Jones is going to be the starter, he's just going to start in week 1. Just don't even. I think he's going to do everything he can to avoid a switch in the middle of the season.
Yeah, my only, just to play devil's advocate, my only thing, and again, that's why I don't know the Pats too much. But the only thing I will say is just it is a little bit different because Saban in Alabama, I mean, it's a little bit more of a luxury situation. It's a program, right? You've recruited guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little comfortable to make a decision like that. Like, you know what? It's a battle. I like him. He gives me the best chance. I'm going to stick with him. There's not much risk everywhere else, too. Whereas in New England, it's NFL. You know what I mean? It's a different situation. I liken that scenario, compare it to Bledsoe and Romo when Parcells finally yanked Bledsoe. Because Bledsoe was losing games, like throwing the pick 6 to, I believe, Philadelphia just the week before. And, played really bad that first half in New York or in Dallas, but versus New York, and went to the halftime. It was like, I've been feeling this since week 2.
We might have lost him again. I think his internet is gone once again. We've actually been having pretty terrible luck when it comes to internet, seemingly in Texas in general. My internet was out from Wednesday to today at noon. So I feel for him. That is one of the more frustrating things that you get when dealing with internet connections. So maybe we'll end up getting something better someday. But yeah, just to give my 2 cents one more time, I think yeah, if Cam Newton is actually playing poorly, like objectively poorly, yeah, they pull him. But I think if it's, he's playing all right, but they're just not closing out games and whatnot, I think he might end up getting to keep his job there. So, I suppose only time will tell. We'll find out here pretty quickly. I mean, they might have to play out this battle in the preseason, which would be interesting. So I'm gonna have to tune in to some Patriots games to see how that's going. So we got about 15 minutes left in the stream. I did not actually do a topic sheet like I was supposed to. So that's on me. But we do have another poll out on how far we think the Cowboys will go this year, whether it'll be division winners, Super Bowl, in the conference championship, or if they're just going to miss the playoffs altogether. So for those of you on Facebook live right now, you'll be able to vote there. Sorry, other platforms, I can only do so much at a time. But I'm working through it. I'm trying to figure out how all this stuff works. So while we're trying to get Nick back on, let's briefly talk about what's going on in Indianapolis and their quarterback situation. Carson Wentz once again is hurt. I think he's got a foot problem, and he's out for 6 to 12 weeks, I think. Oh, we have our guest back, or our guest co-host.
Sorry,
I should say.
we should. we should time it. It should be good to make it to the end of the show.
To the end. Yeah. Yeah. We got 13 minutes. You may have missed it. Just to reiterate, just for you, I was, and then we'll move on. I was talking about Indianapolis.
Please.
I was saying, yes, I think if Cam Newton is playing objectively bad, then I think they pull him for sure, no doubt. If it's the case that he's playing all right, mediocre, and for whatever reason they just can't close out games, I think he rides a little bit longer. If they can kind of look and be like, all right, we wish we got a little bit more out of you, but it's not that you're throwing interceptions or anything like that. We're just not getting it in the end zone, or we're giving up too many points.
I compared it to Bledsoe, if that made sense.
Well, yeah, that's what made me think about it when you were like, oh, well, when Bledsoe was throwing picks and he was playing terrible, and it's like, yeah, for sure. Like, if he's doing that, then, yeah, he's going to lose his job for sure. But then I was talking about Carson Wentz. Cool. Carson Wentz is hurt. He's going to have surgery. I think they said 6 to 12 weeks. So now they've got who's up there? I know Jacob Eason is one of them, and
Ellinger.
Yes, and Sam Ellinger. I don't know what the scoop is on that. Like, who is leading that battle? Who would you of those two? Like, who would you expect? Oh, actually, I do know who's leading that battle. So I know the answer. So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna give you the trivia question. Who would you expect taking first team reps right now?
I would expect Eason. I mean, Eason was a transfer to Washington, right?
He was the backup to Jake Fromm at Georgia, and then he went and he started for Washington.
I would expect Eason. I mean, I think they technically had the better collegiate career. So I would just, if you're asking me on paper, that's my guess.
Well, there is a headline from The Athletic, updated 10 hours ago, that says Colts Sam Ellinger earns first team reps, creating competition with Jacob Eason. So what it looks like just from the first couple sentences is that never mind. I was going to say it looked like Sam Ellinger was actually hurt. But I guess at some point Jacob Eason was in the lead here. And look at this. Hold on. Breaking news from Craig. Craig is saying that they have already said that Cam Newton is going to start. I suppose we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, then there you go.
Once we get into the preseason, I guess we'll. Maybe that means Mac Jones gets a little bit more playing time, which would be fantastic for him.
Yeah,
that'd be good news. But as far as Sam Ellinger, I don't actually know how Jacob Eason's career really panned out, to be honest. He went somewhere and started, but it was for Washington, and I don't know.
I think Washington was technically better than where Texas was going as far as a direction.
That's true. That is true. I guess I was leaning towards more Sam Ellinger just because of his. And by no means am I saying that Sam Ellinger is a better quarterback than Jacob Eason. I don't really know. I'm just thinking of like body types and like how they got Andrew Luck. Like Sam Ellinger, as far as toughness and just being durable, is more on the Andrew Luck side of things than I think Jacob Eason is. Like I think I feel like that's also why they kind of went with Carson Wentz. Like they just have similar builds, not similar skills, but just like, they want a guy that can move around a little bit, take a hit or two, get up and tell you good hit and go at it again.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we're not in that Colts room. So, yeah, that might be how Doug Peterson wants his QBs to be, and that's perfectly okay. Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. Am I missing something here? Is Doug Peterson at the Colts now?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was thinking Super Bowl, Carson Wentz. You threw me off. I forgot. What's his name? Frank Reich. Sorry.
Okay, because I was about to say, hold on. So Doug
Yeah,
Peterson
yeah.
benched this fool and shipped him out of town, and then goes and it goes to the Colts and they pick
They
him up
picked him
again.
back up. Hey, what's up? What's up, bro? That would be a terrible surprise if
Oh
Wentz walks
yeah.
into that in a meeting, right?
Oh man, that's why I was confused. I was like, wait, how did I not know this? But yeah,
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 no. Like, yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I guess for me, it's not surprising to me that Sam Ellinger might be getting those reps. What is surprising to me is that those are your two backups. Like you don't have even just a terrible veteran. Like, come on, what was Josh McCown really doing? Can y'all go? What's Matt Flynn
Or
doing?
or Rivers. I mean, unless you're just
Well, Rivers
you're off
retired.
the Rivers thing. I mean, well, didn't he come out and say, "Hey, I'm willing to come back for anybody that needs me"? Or I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, I did see that, and I was confused for this reason right here. So a long time ago, I guess a year ago, back when we first started this podcast, there was there's a story that came out that a high school in Alabama had offered Rivers the head coaching job pending retirement. So they were basically saying, "Hey, whenever you retire, you're our head coach." And he accepted it, and he went and he did a press conference and he talked about it and whatever. And I got on and I did my little Money Matters topic about, hey, how would you feel as the coach at said program right now? And they're like, yeah, you're gonna get fired. We don't know when, but whenever Phillip Rivers is available, he's coming to take your spot, and you just got to kick rocks. That could be at the end of this season. That could be 2 seasons from now. That could be 5 seasons from now. Who knows? It's like, what a terrible position to be in. So now, flip side of this, he has retired. I hadn't been looking. I assumed that he went down and he's coaching this program. I thought it odd for him to then say, yeah, if y'all need me, I'll come back. It's like, wait a minute. You just took this man's job down in Alabama, and then you're like, yeah, but like that meme with Michael Jordan,
Well,
bump them kids.
well, that does tell me two things though, because the first, I wonder how good that team is, and maybe now Rivers sees it and he's like, "Oh, okay, this is what I got." Second thing, I believe the quote he said was more lean to, "I'm willing to come back and help mid-season," i.e., when high school football's done.
Mm.
So he's not expecting playoffs. He's not expecting a deep run if he is expecting playoffs. So, I mean, you mix that all together, say he's got a lot of underclassmen, and he's like, we're just rebuilding right now. We'll get better. He knows he's going to be free by November, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I think that's what his quote was more lead to. Because I believe he said, "Yeah, if anybody needs me mid-season," I think it was like if somebody goes down. He was very specific, I believe. I could find it, I'm sure, what he said, but I thought it leaned. And now that you say that part about the high school, it kind of makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So now, now I got to check and see, is he actually at this high school, or are they actually?
Yeah. What's he doing?
Yeah, because I don't know, and I wish I would have looked, but I didn't. So I'll find out, and we'll
I
get
do
back to
have a
it.
surprise for you as well. I
Oh,
mean, we're
right.
on this QB topic.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
Speaking of QBs, not a controversy, more of a feel-good story.
Oh, okay. I like these.
Let's end it with a good note.
All right.
Bills QB Mitchell Trubisky. Nice to be somewhere where people want you.
Oh, that's. That's not supposed to be funny. That's not supposed to be funny.
Paraphrase a bit. He basically said he wanted to go, obviously, somewhere to compete, He's reassessed that
Wait,
and
time out. Hold
realized
on.
he
Hold
wants
on.
to grow as a player. And
Wait. He wants to go somewhere where he can compete. So he went to go compete with Josh Allen.
well, no. Yeah, no. He wanted to at first when he was released. That was his goal, was to go somewhere and compete. He realized that that didn't happen. Like, he saw that nothing came up. He reassessed the situation and realized, I need to go somewhere and get better as a player and a person. And he thought being a backup to Josh Allen and that team, leadership, I guess, he felt that was the best place. And he
Okay.
apparently is happy to be Allen's backup, I guess. And what's funny? This reminds The reason why I like this story is because, yeah, he's happy, feel good. But this isn't the first player that said this type of thing. Cole Beasley was very happy going to Buffalo as well. He liked the atmosphere too. What's Coach McDermott doing up there? People like playing for him, I guess. Bills Mafia, of course,
Yeah,
always hypes the
is
players up.
Dayball
I
still up
mean,
there?
it seems like fun. I don't know. I I believe so. I would assume, right? He didn't get a look. I know he was a hot topic, but I don't think he left.
Let me look at the Bills coaching staff. But yeah, no, good for Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, even Stephon Diggs is out there balling. Yeah, Brian Dayball is still the offensive coordinator. They got a ball club up there, man.
It just seems like from the top down too, like they got something good going on. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's obviously Josh Allen, everybody balling helps them win. But I mean, to be happy to go to work, that's cool. That's good. They have like a good chemistry thing going on up there. And that's cool. Like I said, Cole Beasley said that before, that he was happy to be up there, that it felt great, so
Mm-hmm.
just seems like a good place to be.
Yeah, and it's even better when you're winning, right? I mean, when you're winning and you have a history of not winning, and you're doing it with, you went through your rebuilding years. I think the Bills are what Cleveland aspires to be, right? That's the
Yeah, I was gonna say,
trajectory
yeah.
that they think that they're on, and maybe they are on it, but that's where you want to be, right? Where you're fighting for those conference championships. I mean, that's where the Colts were almost right from the beginning once they got Andrew Luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got better every year. Too bad they never actually made it to the pinnacle. And then for health reasons, Andrew Luck was like, yeah, no, this just isn't for me anymore. But, good for the Bills. They've got a little bit of secret sauce right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, the NFL being a copycat league, they need to try to figure out what the Bills are actually doing and try to replicate that in their culture more so than trying to chase the Chiefs. Not saying that the Chiefs are a very well run organization as well. But I think it is, for most teams out there, it's easier to follow the Bills model and become the Bills than it is to follow the Chiefs model and become the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, good for him. And
Yeah, good stuff.
I didn't hit the record button. That's okay.
That is not good.
No, it's not good. I guess I'll just yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to play this back on my computer and record it that way, the jank way, maybe. Yo, hey, Robert Chazaretta is in the YouTube chat. And
What's up, Rob?
he says, "What's up, fellas?" He agrees with Cleveland aspiring to be what Buffalo is now. Hey, good to hear from you, Robert. Hadn't seen you in a while. We need to fix that. But glad you can make it and tune into the show. Glad to see a comment from you.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up. I'm just gonna have to figure out what to do about this podcast. See if I can like download the YouTube video or something and rip the audio off of it. I don't know. There's got to be something. I don't understand how I keep not hitting this button. I need somebody else to do it.
If anybody can figure it out, I'm a believer in you, JT. I'm 100%.
I appreciate it. Well, for those that usually listen to the podcast in the podcast form, this is past JT, telling you that only you know whether it made it out to Buzzsprout and onto your mobile device or whatever podcast player you have. So don't yell at me too much if you don't get it. But on that note, we'll end it. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do about this. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Craig, for being interactive today. Thanks for the good comments and give me a way to make sure that I can actually see them. And a surprise, a wild Robert Chazaretta made it. And I'm glad that he saw it too and left a comment. You really made my day. So thanks to you, Nick, for standing in these last, what was it, for 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, 3. This was my 3rd, so I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Coach Teague, too, for letting me fill in. Complete honors. So, yeah, anytime you guys want me back, I'm all in. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we will definitely try to get you back on as a guest. Maybe you can help us. So I got all these scenes, things like this that I apparently don't use as much as I should. But I've been afraid to try the 3-man one because I don't particularly know how the 3-man works yet. I haven't tested that one thoroughly, so maybe you can be our guinea pig for that one to get our 3-box.
Love to.
I don't even. Yeah, so it's not even set up with 2 right now. But all right, enough rambling. We'll go ahead and end the show. Once again, thanks everybody. Shout out to Brent Thomas and Profile in Science for helping us with our website. Make sure that you follow us. Nick is on Twitter rarely, but occasional enough. He has an account at Nick Granado 1991. You can find me at BamaJ13 on Twitter and anything else, Twitch, well, except for Facebook. You're not going to find me at BamaJ13 on Facebook. And again, my chess offer still stands to you, Nick, and to anybody listening. You don't have to be good. I'll play anybody.
Got it. Download it, Robert. Play him. Robert's good at chess.
Oh, is he?
A lot better than me.
All right.
Yeah, he's really good. So you got to hit him up.
I will hit him up. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Leave 5-star reviews. Otherwise, I'll be inclined to think you're a hater. See you next time.